In 1996, North American gamers were treated to something totally unexpected, a brand new Mario game on the Super Nintendo. But this wasn't your typical Mushroom Kingdom adventure. It was a full-blown role-playing game. Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. Now, putting Mario in an RPG might have sounded strange at the time. Sure, he'd already dabbled in all sorts of genres. Puzzle games, kart racing, sports, even educational titles. But a turn-based RPG? That felt like uncharted territory for the world's most famous plumber. And yet, it worked really well. Super Mario RPG wasn't just a surprise hit. It became a beloved classic. It's still considered one of the best games on the Super Nintendo, and one of the finest RPGs ever made. The game was a result of a rare but magical collaboration between Nintendo and Squaresoft, two titans of the era, both at the top of their game, pun intended. Together they created something that was funny, weird, emotional, and mechanically tight. Super Mario RPG gave us unforgettable characters, a quirky and innovative battle system, sharp writing, fun side quests, and some of the most charming visuals of the 16-bit generation. It left a serious mark, not just on fans, but on the industry as a whole. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into one of those unforgettable characters. A character that's one of the first things you think of, at least for me, when someone talks about Super Mario RPG. Let's take a look at Geno, the Star Road Warrior. Shortly after Mario and Mallow arrive at the Rosetown Inn, Mario sees a young boy named Gaz playing with his dolls of Mario, Peach, and Bowser. Gaz's mom asks Mario to play with her son, which Mario kindly agrees to. Mario pretends to be Bowser, and Gaz pretends to be his favorite of the dolls, Geno. Gaz ends up playing too rough, however, and activates Geno's Super Star Shot, and instead of hitting the Bowser doll, the blast accidentally hits Mario, knocking him unconscious. Later that night, an extraordinary event happens. A star spirit finds the four dolls lying on the floor and decides to inhabit the one he thought was the strongest. A warrior from the Star Road sent by a higher power to help restore peace to Mario's world from the Smithy Gang, who started their invasion with an attack to Bowser's Keep, which is done by Exor, a giant anthropomorphic sword and high-ranking member of the Smithy Gang, who is also used as a gateway between Mario's world and the weapon world, where Smithy's factory is located. As Exor fell from the sky, he shattered the Star Road, and as a result, the 7 star pieces are scattered throughout the world and wishes are unable to be granted. Because of this, Geno was sent to receive the star pieces and restore the power of wishes to the world. After finally getting comfortable in his new body, Geno heads deep into the forest maze to fight Bowyer, one of Smithy's lieutenants guarding the 2nd star piece, who is ordered by Smithy to attack Rosetown by firing poison-tipped arrows, causing anyone to be hit by one paralyzed and frozen like statues. Mario and Mallow decide to follow Geno. Eventually navigating the maze and arriving deep within the forest, they see Geno trying to take on Bowyer alone. Mario, not one to stand idly by, rushes in to help. And Mallow, although hesitant at first, musters the courage to stand alongside Mario in battle. Geno, realizing this, welcomes the unexpected reinforcement, and together the trio manage to defeat Bowyer once and for all. After the fight, Geno reveals his true identity, a Star Warrior sent to stop the Smithy Gang and restore the shattered Star Road. Geno was impressed by Mario and Mallow's bravery and pledges to join them on their quest. He tells Mario that they can call him Geno because his real name is too hard to pronounce, represented in text as a heart, a music note, an exclamation point, and a question mark. His role in this journey with Mario is being offensive with high regular attack and magic, also acting as a sage-like figure to Mario and his allies. Geno's design had multiple people contributing to it. First was Yuka Miyamoto from Square, who had worked on other games such as Final Fantasy Tactics Advance and Final Fantasy XII. Kazuaki Kurashima, a graphic designer that originally worked for Square, being known most for his creature designs, provided concept work. In an interview in 2020, Kurashima revealed that initial concept art for Geno depicted him with more of a knightly appearance. Kurashima gave him a taller stature, plate armor around the face and body, spiky hair, and a sword. Eventually, Hideo Minaba, field designer on Final Fantasy V, worked Geno into the version we know today, featuring his hat and cape, although still brandishing a sword. Before the release of Super Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo, Square revealed that Geno was inspired by Pinocchio, the classic character from Italian literature who later became a Disney star, in a preview article in Volume 77 of Nintendo Power. The difference in the Super Mario RPG is that the Clog Warrior now takes the time to stop for a chat with Princess Toadstool, or Toad, the Mushroom Retainer, or visit a village full of Yoshis, or 9 other major characters, including, according to Square, Pinocchio. While the two don't share much in terms of looks, the comparison makes sense. Both started as inanimate dolls and were brought to life through the magic of a star. Everything had come together for the character of Geno, except a name. While it's unclear if this was ever officially confirmed, Geno's name doesn't seem like a regular pick. Geno is actually a real Italian name for boys, meaning well-born or noble, a fitting match for a valiant guardian of Star Road whose sole mission is to restore it to its former glory. The Italian roots of the name may also be a nod to Pinocchio. Geno's personality is strongly based on his confidence and attitude. Having more of a defiant hero demeanor, his eagerness to confront the enemy may be due to his status as an authority figure from Star Road. He also tends to show more enthusiasm than any other party member. Geno offers the heroes advice about matters the others may not understand. For instance, after Mario and his allies liberate Bowser's Keep, Bowser decides to quit the team and return to the castle. However, Geno points out that until Smithy and his factory are destroyed, Bowser's Keep is still at risk. Geno comes off as very powerful from his first appearance as a doll. At base level, Geno starts with 45 HP, 30 speed, 60 attack, 23 defense, 25 magic attack, and 17 magic defense, making him the fastest member of Mario's party right from the get-go. As he levels up, Geno unlocks a total of 5 unique special moves. His first is Geno Beam, a straightforward single target damage attack. Then there's Geno Boost, which can raise the attack and defense of either himself or any ally on the field, making him a valuable support unit as well as a powerhouse. Geno Blast. Geno summons light energy from the sky that damages all the enemies, while holding the Y button until 3 stars appear that deals more damage. Geno Flash transforms Geno into a large cannon, then he shoots a large ball of energy that damages all enemies. Finally, there's Geno Whirl, which is potentially the most powerful attack in the game, dealing 9,999 points of damage by throwing a disc of light at one enemy. Geno is a very potent offensive character overall, also having comparable attack stats to Bowser and a high magic attack and potent special moves primarily revolving around single and multiple enemy attacks. However, his HP growth begins to stall at level 20, and his special equipment is subpar at best. His ultimate weapon, the Star Gun, not being as powerful as that of the others, such as Mario's Lazy Shell, and while his ultimate armor, the Star Cape, is the second worst in the game, making him relatively weaker in both attack and defense power later in the game despite his high base stats. Still, Geno Boost and Geno Flash, one of the strongest special moves in the games that strikes all enemies, makes Geno useful to have on any team. Even the instruction booklet for the Super Nintendo version states, "A new hero who totes a mean gun and wears a styling cape. This is one doll you don't want to mess with," making Geno one of the coolest characters in the video game. Although powerful, Geno is quite amiable, quick to make friends with Mario and Mallow, having a strong sense of duty and responsibility, worrying over the ownership of his physical form and promising to return the body to the home from whence it came. Eventually, Mario and company collect the remaining star pieces and defeat Smithy. With Smithy destroyed, Geno decides to leave the doll's wooden body, returning to the form of a star and bringing the star pieces to Star Road, repairing the celestial road and causing the power of wishes to return to the world once again, while Mario and company watches the sword Exor disintegrate. The lifeless Geno doll can be seen sitting behind Mario and company on Vista Hill. And after the events of this journey, Geno is unfortunately not seen again in playable form, only reduced to cameo appearances. His first appearance is a cameo in Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, where he appears as the mechanical host of the Star Stash Smash arcade game in Little Fungi Town, explaining the rules of the minigame. The end credits state that Geno is the intellectual property of Square Enix, and, quote, "Regardless of the above-mentioned, the copyright of the character Geno reserved by Square Enix Company Limited," unquote. However, he does not return in the remake, Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minion. Only text bubbles replace his role. In Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Geno appears as a spirit. In his spirit battle, he is represented by Sheik, armed with the Super Scope, and joined by Mario, Peach, and Bowser, and a gray Kirby, who represents Mallow. These 5 fighters represent the main cast of Super Mario RPG. His Mii Gunner costume for Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS and Wii U returns as DLC and was released in December 2020. Geno also appears in volumes 50 and 51 of the kid-centric Super Mario Kun, a Japanese-published Super Mario manga series containing many of the characters and scenarios from various Super Mario games, including Super Mario World and Super Mario RPG. Geno is mostly absent for the majority of these volumes, having been forced by Princess Peach to switch places with him at her castle to take place in the form of a disguise. It is not until the end of the battle against Smithy that he shows up again in the story. Since the character of Geno being conceived during a collaboration between Nintendo and Square, and since intellectual property laws for most countries state that any element created specifically for a specific setting belongs to the owner of said setting, which in this case would be Nintendo, but the copyright of the character Geno is reserved by Square Enix, so it is unlikely we will see him again as a main playable character in a Mario game. In June 2023, Geno and Mario RPG fans rejoiced when a remake of Super Mario RPG was announced for the Nintendo Switch. Developed in the Unity engine Arti Piazza, which had previously worked on games in Square Enix Dragon Quest series, featuring full 3D graphics, updated character and enemy names, with Princess Toadstool being called Princess Peach to reflect her modern nomenclature, and Frog Fuchs being renamed to Frog Sage, and the option to switch between the original music and the newly arranged soundtrack by Shimomura. New battle mechanics include the option to swap party members, except for Mario, in the middle of a battle, and the ability to damage all enemies when performing perfect action commands, and powerful team-specific triple moves performed after building a gauge using successful action commands. The remake of Super Mario RPG received generally favorable reviews from Metacritic, with an aggregate rating of 84 and a 96% of critics recommending it on OpenCritic. As of March 31st, 2024, the game has sold 3.14 million copies and over 860,000 copies sold in Japan and over 245 million internationally. Super Mario RPG has consistently ranked high on both reader and critic-curated best games of all time lists, earning 30th place on IGN and 28th place in Electronic Gaming Monthly. While it never received a direct sequel, Super Mario RPG laid the groundwork for its spiritual successors. Nintendo initially announced a follow-up title to Super Mario RPG titled Super Mario RPG 2 for Nintendo 64 DD, but the project evolved into Paper Mario. These later games retained several key mechanics introduced in the original, such as flower points, a shared resource for special moves, timed button presses during combat, and the quest to collect 7-star themed items. Super Mario RPG earned its status as a Super Nintendo classic for a good reason. The original game was quirky, witty, and bursting with charm. A perfect getaway RPG that captivated newcomers with its humor and heart. The remake on the Switch stays true to that legacy, masterfully preserving the magic that made the original so beloved. Its core gameplay holds up remarkably well, and while the seasoned players might long for a more challenging hard mode, the new features introduce just enough depth to keep the battles fresh and accessible for everyone. Whether you're stepping into this adventure for the first time or returning after decades, Super Mario RPG on Switch is an absolute joy, an experience that no fan should pass up. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. What are your thoughts about anything I've discussed in this video? If you liked this video, please leave a like. If you didn't, that other button seems to work pretty well too. If you'd like to support the channel in a more personal way, consider becoming a member, where you will not just get members-only videos, you will get behind-the-scenes updates on what I'm working on and videos early. Or, you could click the super thanks below this video, or check out any of the links in the description. Either way, any way you decide to support, even just by watching, I'm so grateful for. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for a plethora of gaming-related content, including but not limited to video essays. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.